You don't need us to tell you that games are ridiculous. Not when we could show you. Ta-da! For the most part though, games are willfully ignorant of the bizarre rules, conventions and cliches that shape them. But not always, because occasionally games display freaky flashes of self-awareness, like a Terminator catching sight of itself in a mirror for a moment before cheerfully going back to crushing human skulls underfoot. Here are the times that games were more meta than Deadpool reading a Deadpool comic. Beware spoilers for the following.
Oops.
Point-and-click games don't just let you do whatever you want, or else there would be a bit in Broken Sword where you break a sword over the head of that one goat. In my dreams I kill him every night. These weird rules are necessary, of course, because otherwise these games wouldn't work, and wouldn't force you to think about how to combine items, chat with characters, or solve puzzles in order to progress, which are all fundamental to the genre, and to LucasArts' 1993 witty classic, Sam and Max Hit the Road.
I'll call him Mittens, because I think he'd make a fine pair of them.
Ho, very wry, Sam and/or Max. I can never remember which is which.
Sam is the dog.
Oh, right, because he's got maximum long ears.
Are you thinking of Max? That's Max.
Moving on.
It's Max.
This doesn't mean these games are afraid to point out their own weird conventions. In Hit the Road, heroes Sam and Max find themselves exploring the mansion of animal imprisonment enthusiast Conroy Bumpus, an extremely fancy pad that plays host to enormous egotistical portraits of its owner, as well as technical marvels like this cleaning robot, which, in a nod to LucasArts' link to George Lucas, has a tiny Princess Leia inside.
Help me, Sam and Max! You're my only hope!
That was gratuitous.
Aw, but to control the robot, Sam and Max need its instruction manual, which can be found atop this monster truck bed, prompting this bit of dangerously self-aware dialogue that pokes fun at the contrived nature of the whole point-and-click genre.
It looks like an official macro hard maintenance droid manual. If I had the slightest inclination to strain myself, I could probably reach it. However, I'm sure I can drag this out into a longer yet more satisfying experience.
Whoa, dangerously meta concepts there, Max. Hope Sam didn't hear.
Max.
What, what?
That's Max.
That smacks of what? I'm sorry about him.
Everyone knows that the music in your entertainment is a good clue as to what's about to happen. Like this chirpy music, for instance, that tells me everything's gonna be a-okay. Trust the music, folks. But no fictional narrative would work properly if the characters themselves knew this trick, right? Otherwise, nobody would ever keep moving towards the source of the creepy music that plays while they walk towards a spooky door. That rule is oh so callously discarded in Banjo-Tooie for the N64, a game throughout which the dynamic bird and bear duo must do battle several times against low-poly baddie Congo, who gets visibly worse for wear after each encounter, like here, in the second time you meet him. Congo, buddy! We can fight later! How about we get some ice on that eye? You may think that after that you'd seen the last of Quango, or you would if Kazooie didn't make this self-aware observation about the ambience upon entering this circular room. Oh come on Kazooie, life isn't that predictable. Oh, I guess it is that predictable. Still, I'm sure this music is nothing to worry about.
You can equip powers when prepping for battle, so try out different configurations. However, you'll have to take into account a power piece's size and shape.
Software pieces, huh? Cool! Looks like all that Dr. Mario's about to pay off.
Creating a good tutorial which quickly helps players get the basics is a fine art. There are many different approaches, with some trying to be minimalistic and immersive, sticking just to button prompts. But others are like Kid Icarus Uprising, going for an all-out tutorial, complete with spoken instructions from Pit and the Goddess of Light, Lady Palutena.
I'll help you get prepared for the battles ahead, Pit.
Thanks. I'm honored to be at your service, Lady Palutena.
Whoa, she's the leader of an army and she's giving you one-on-one tuition. Nice one. Now you better be good and not ask any awkward questions, Pit.
But before we get started, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
And what's that?
Who is this Icarus character this game is named after? Can I meet him?
Look, kid, she's a busy woman. Don't spend the whole time complaining.
While on the ground, your job is to seek out the boss and defeat it.
Can't you just fly me over to the boss?
Sure, if you don't mind your wings on fire.
I mind.
Wow, Lady P does not hold back. If you were hoping for a fully world-immersing experience, then best look away. Both characters fully reference the buttons and stylus controls, with Pit describing how he will interact with the buttons as if he's the player.
Yes, I don't have to press it over and over.
Wait, Pit is the one pressing the button over and over again? So Pit is playing himself? That means that we're the... What? It also makes little nods to previous games in the series.
Our goal is to stop Medusa and the Underworld Army.
Oh, geez. She was a huge pain 25 years ago.
As well as nods to Pit's appearances in other titles.
That move feels so familiar.
I think they used it in that one series, Super Bash Sisters.
You mean Super Smash Brothers?
I don't think it was that.
It's definitely that.
FYI Nintendo, I would totally buy Super Bash Sisters. But where they really go over the edge is when talking about Pit's limited stamina, linking it not to energy levels, but game design.
You'll get winded if you run for too long, so mind your stamina.
Guess I can't just run past all the enemies. Darn you, balanced gameplay.
Oh, yeah, balanced gameplay. That's what happens to me when I try and run for a bus.
Come by the place in about half an hour and I'll have it ready for you.
All right. I'm gonna run by home and grab my web shooters.
What do you do when you're tired of jumping? I mean, apart from lying down or ideally not having jumped in the first place, jumping is hard. The video game world answers with 2 words: double jump. This mainstay of the medium can be found across decades and genres, from platformers to fighting games, and always involves a second jump in which your character pushes off of thin air to get a little extra height. Which sadly is impossible. We check every few months, just in case. How many was that?
Still one.
Trust mouthy superhero Spider-Man to be flippant about this long-running gaming tradition then.
I just have to finish stitching up a hole in the butt and then I'll give it back to you.
I can explain the hole in the butt, by the way.
Please don't.
In 2005's Ultimate Spider-Man, when Peter Parker's being walked through the web-slinging moves at his disposal, he has this to say about the revered double jump.
Jump and then jump again. Sure, it breaks the laws of physics, but so do most things I do.
Way to ruin it, Spider-Man. What does Peter Parker know about Newton's third law of motion anyway? I'll trust our own data. Continue the research.
Pretty sure it's broken.
There are some formulas that work extremely well in games, things that come up so often that dealing with them often becomes second nature. One of these is the boss battle. Not only is it a regular occurrence, but they tend to follow the same pattern. The boss is a whole lot bigger than you must avoid them by running around to find their weakness and strike them multiple times to take them out. So, when boss-bashing Spyro comes across a giant woolly mammoth in Spyro A Hero's Tale, he thinks he's got the whole thing sussed out.
I've beaten bigger baddies than you.
Right, we've seen this all before, but don't forget that pride comes before a fall, so don't be too complacent, Spyro.
All I have to do is run around you a few times while I figure out your weakness. Then I just hit you 3 times and...
What did I say? What did I say? Still, Spyro is not the only one who has to pay for his smugness, as Sparks the Dragonfly is sucked up and, well, this happens. I mean, that's not where that stuff goes when you breathe in through your nose, but fine. Upon his embarrassing exit, Sparks runs off for the help of Hunter the cheetah, who is only too happy to go meta in knowing that Spyro is safe.
Relax, buddy. Spyro's still alive. I know, because if he weren't, we'd be going back to a previous save. I rock.
No, you don't rock, Hunter. You don't rock. Your face just gives me nightmares.
Games with dialogue choices don't typically show you your options in full sentences, which makes it hard to guess what's going to happen next. Oh, hey Andy! Nice t-shirt, idiot! Your grandma buy that for you? This tendency to accidentally mislead players every now and again is a frustrating aspect of almost any RPG, but one game takes it a step further, imagining how annoying those poorly described dialogue choices would be for the characters themselves. That game is Super Paper Mario, which at one point sees you playing as Princess Peach out to save her friend Tippy from the clutches of a nerd chameleon called Francis. Sure. Francis falls immediately in love with Princess Peach, i.e. you, the player, but unable to talk to her normally, fires up a bizarre in-game dating sim of his own creation in order to force his affections on the unwilling Peach, like the big scaly creep he is. The game swapping genre on you like this is already pretty meta, and players can expect their heads to get thoroughly messed with as they watch Francis navigating his own minigame, refusing to take no for an answer. His cursor even hovers ominously over an option marked smooch for a moment before he thinks better of it. Good decision, Francis, unlike literally every other decision you've made so far, including that fanny pack. Not a good look. Towards the end of this excruciating chat, Francis proposes marriage. In the most clear misreading of a situation since I bought my niece 12 Monkeys on DVD for Christmas. I thought Curious George, but like 12 times as fun. Anyway, if you're watching Uncle Joe and Aunt Beth, do call. As the player, you're given 3 responses to Francis's terrible marriage proposal. First, to say yes, second, to say let's take it slow, or third, to ask how much he earns, which is frankly beside the point. So the obvious pick, you would think, is the second option as it's the strongest dismissal on offer. But, as is RPG tradition, Peach's response doesn't quite chime with the tone of that choice, as she makes very clear in a weirdly self-aware moment. You tell him, Peach, in a supremely meta bit of gameplay that ends when you destroy Francis's graphics card. Sure.
With you besides us, a talisman of victory, the day of freedom draws nigh. Your bright face obscures your darker mask.
Gordon Freeman is such an iconic character for someone who doesn't utter a single word.
Man, a few words, aren't you?
But his wordlessness helps us jump into his place and become the hero. Without a voice, it's easier for us to step into his shoes and really be in his skin. No, that last bit about skin didn't sound creepy. You sound creepy, shut up. However, Valve can't resist a chance to be clever, so not only do they acknowledge Gordon's silence throughout the series, but they also recognise the whole idea that he isn't the one in control of his actions. This weird situation in which we are playing a hero who isn't actually us but an actual character is called out when we bump into this guy.
Far distant eyes look out through your...
Okay, when you say it like that, it really does sound creepy.
Something secret steers us both. We shall not name it.
Yeah, please don't name it, because if you say Jane, I'm really gonna freak out right now. Like if I were to suddenly reference a viewer by name, like you, Bertram.
There's like 3 people called that.
Yeah, and I bet he's really freaked out right now.
No further compromise shall we allow.
So there were some of the times in games that were a little bit better. They were being clever. They knew what they were doing. And they're just pointing out, hey, you're playing a video game. Don't forget that. But can you think of any other examples? Let us know in the comments down below. We know that there are loads, so get suggesting. But if you enjoyed this video, why not like this video? And also you should go and check out these other videos here. There's Outside Xbox playing DayZ on the Xbox, OMG, and then also another list from us regarding times where you weren't being much of a chatty Cathy and they pointed it out to you. And also if you really enjoyed the video, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching.